great question. So batteries are progressing very quickly. We've so far installed a bit over 100 battery systems, mostly smaller residential scales, some small commercial. You've probably heard of the Tesla Powerwall. There's a lot of demand. I think we have 70 more on order, and we're waiting for Tesla to ship them. They've not always met their production goals, but they're doing good work, and we're rooting for them. And so those systems today in New Hampshire are primarily as backup power instead of the generator. So when the power goes out, you've got instantaneous power, and it's being continuously replenished when the sun is shining if you've got solar on the roof. We are gradually moving, and there's a great pilot underway in Lebanon, gradually moving toward taking advantage of battery technology for more than just backup power. So instead of the utility in Lebanon spending a whole lot of public money, which will be recouped through our electric rates, to upgrade the grid to allow greater capacity, instead of that, they are subsidizing distributed batteries across hundreds of homes in Lebanon, which will be able to store the power they need for those peak demand moments, which are typically hot summer afternoons when everybody's got the AC on. Coincidentally, that's when solar generation is at its highest too. So that's a great example, and we see a lot of these in other states where batteries are now being used to avoid building new, typically coal-fired or natural gas-fired power plants, and to distribute the power we already have and deliver it at the times we need. So that's something we'll be seeing more of, but we do need the regulations to catch up with the technology. We certainly have the potential, my car has a 60 kilowatt battery that could power my home for an entire week if I had it, if I needed to, if we had a grid that permitted me to use that power in a bi-directional manner. And we're not quite there in state, but we're working on it. So a lot of advances coming. Certainly a tremendous opportunity for growth when we think about the challenge that solar and wind have, which is their variability. Being able to store that power efficiently will be a key to solving that challenge.
Thank you.
One last question. Yeah.
Given that you guys, have mentioned that policy is kind of what's slowing us down here, or impeding progress, do you have any kind of a source that regular citizens can go to see what hearings are coming up or what bills are coming up, and is there any go-to?
Great question.
It's a great question, I think.
What is the question?
Oh, the question is what, in terms of keeping track of what's going on at the State House, what's the best way to do that? We all are appreciative of the Clean Energy New Hampshire, which used to be the New Hampshire Sustainable Energy Association. They do a great job of compiling all the legislation and letting you know when the hearings are. And that's website, they changed, I think it's nhenergy.org, so that's a very good source. I know the Sierra Club sends out information that's very helpful to their members, and also I think on your website. That is, and it's what is your website?
SierraClub.org.
There you go. So there are great sources online that you can sign up for alerts as well. But those are the two things that I would recommend immediately in terms of keeping track of what's going on.
Yeah, Rob, could Reagan just say a few words about something we have to sign up for?
Sure.
As Angie mentioned at the beginning, this film series was put together by a handful of volunteers with Red River. And one of the things we've talked about is, what is the group in Concord that everyone can look to as a resource for these types of issues. And one thing we're considering doing is sort of reactivating a group that some of you might have heard of, Green Concord. Used to be a business alliance group in Concord that encouraged sustainable practices. It hasn't been active for a while, but we do have a sign-up sheet here for anyone who might be interested. After the film series, we'll be contacting anyone who's provided their name and email address, and I think we'll be putting together a meeting to discuss what people locally might want to do in terms of maybe reinvigorating this group with a new focus. So if you've got an interest in that, as a more long-term step you can take, please sign up. I'll send this around.
Great, thanks, Reagan. So I want to thank Red River once again for presenting this film and my colleagues here for a great discussion. One thing I will say, one note, a local angle is that, and this has to do with Block Island. So some of you might know, I'm not sure if you do, but we do have a local connection there on Block Island because our chief engineer, Ed Robert, who served here for many years, is now the town manager of Block Island.
Stop it.
I'm not going to stop it. So,
Good. Really?
there's a lot of tour possibilities there.
Yeah.
So thanks again for being here, and make sure that you take one of these brochures and fill it out, and we'll see you on March 27th
Yeah.
for the next film.
That'd be great.
Thank you.